Let's get this show on the road. I'm a minute or two late. I was just answering somebody in the comments on a video. And I was feeding my darling over there. Giving her food. I hope that doesn't... Oh, I got my... Oh, it did. It zoomed me in as well. Zoomed in on me. Didn't intend that. And then I went and put my hand in the way of the camera. Professional or what? We're off to a good start. Flies. I thought we were past that. I thought we were past the time of year for flies. It's cold now. Cold. That's one of the themes of this week. When we get into that. I got a few notes. Just a page of notes for today. Let me see if I can organise. Oh, told you, professional. So, episode 14 already. Can you believe it? Episode 14. And I thought after doing the tri-sky decaphobia thing for episode 13 last week, I thought I'd do a couple of facts about the number 14. Because I enjoyed that. And the early, these first couple of minutes while we're waiting for people to arrive, I'm always stuck for what to say. So I just saw a message there, was it Jan? Oh, hello Jan, and Ismo as well. Hello, the pair of you. Hello, hello. No court case yet. No. I had to skip the one that was set. I was ill, and there's no rearranged date as yet. That'll take time, I guess. Bureaucracy. You know how things can be. So anyway, guys, the number 14. Here's what's special about number 14. It's a pyramidal number. So if you build a pyramid out of blocks, so if you start with a square 1 by 1, then you do a square that's 2 by 2, and a square that's 3 by 3, and you stack them one on the other, 3, 2, 1, you have 14. 9 on the bottom layer, 4 on the second layer, and 1 on the top layer. Number 14. There you go. It's also the atomic number of silicon. And without silicon, we wouldn't even be talking today, would we? These little computers that we carry in our pockets, and that I'm using to speak to you through right now. That's the number 14, silicon. Atomic number 14. It's also the number of victims that were sacrificed to the Minotaur, apparently. I've got no idea. Greek mythology, King Minos and all that, Crete. And the 14th Amendment in the United States, that's the one that guaranteed the freedom and rights of the released slaves after the Civil War. So there you go, a few facts about the number 14, because this is episode 14 of TrampCast. Hey, who knew it was going to get this far? 14 also means that it's over 3 months since this started. I find that difficult to believe. What are you doing here? Who are you and why are you here? Listening to a tramp in a field. Let's take a quick look around while we've got light still in the weather. So there's my doggy. I can't even see the camera myself. There's my doggy. And there's the tent that's, you can see the rips in the door. Well, at the bottom there, look at that rip. I kind of made that worse this week, accidentally. If you can see the, oh, shit. If you see the, oh, you can't really. There's a blanket hanging over the doorway at the top there. Basically, I've tried to insulate, because my door doesn't close. Let's come back. Because my door doesn't close, I've tried to hang a blanket to create a bit of extra insulation, keep it warmer inside. But that also has the issue of making it more difficult to get in and out. And which means I've got caught up a couple of times in the already existing rips in the doorway, in the door. I kind of got tangled with them a couple of times in the night or moving around. and I've made things worse. I've ripped the door more than necessary, more than it already was. So that's not great. So yeah. Anyway, on with the show, folks. On with the show. So, Delta Mike, down and out in Torrevieja. Delta Mike, that's me. It's my initials, DM, Delta Mike. NATO phonetic radio alphabet thing. Down and out, homeless, a vagrant, indigent, a tramp, a hobo. I need a longer list of synonyms. Torrevieja, that's a town on the southeast coast of Spain. So here we are. Next. I wrote down, I tried this last week for the first time. Again, while we're just waiting for people to maybe arrive a little bit, just a time filler. I got some getting to know you questions, and you can feel free to join in on these, if you like. You guys are seeming a little bit shy, so I end up talking to myself. So I've written a few questions down that we can ponder. So the worst job there is, and I kind of amended it slightly into the worst job I've had. And I'm looking back on my history. I've had a few crap jobs. Not all crap, but some that are, you get jobs and you just put up with them, don't you? They're a means to an end often. Rather than a career or a vocation, you often just take something just to bring the money in. Especially when you're younger. I had a few crap ones. I worked in a cafe bar and a slot machine arcade. And I was just a dishwasher and table cleaner. Hello, Phil. My health. I'm okay, mate. My own health issues were I had one infection or something that came out of nowhere. I've been ill very little in my life. I haven't seen a doctor. I've seen a doctor twice, I think, in my adult life. And a couple of months ago, I was just struck down with some kind of fever and chills and shakes. Couldn't get out of bed for a couple. Well, I did get out of bed. I walked the dog, but that was all. Walking the dog and toiletry needs. Other than that, I stayed in bed for 3 or 4 days. I think that might have been the mice. I don't know, but I had a rodent infestation around me, and I got rid of that now. We'll come back to that. If I don't remember, somebody tell me. Mice. Killed 2 in one go. One trap, 2 mice. It's on the list. We'll get to it. Jobs. Worst jobs I've had. Washing dishes and wiping tables in a slot machine arcade at the weekends while I was at university. Meh. Long days, but that was okay. But I was a security guard once upon a time in London in my early 20s. Around 20, just after 2021. Long days, 12-hour shifts, an hour and a half travel on the underground into work and an hour and a half home afterwards. 15-hour days. Did that for about 18 months, I think. The first month almost killed me. My shoes didn't fit me, and I was on my feet for at least 12 hours of those. I had blisters, and before they healed, another blister would form, rub on the same spot, and before that healed, another one. I had kind of 3 levels deep of blisters. I had a crater in the top of my foot. I could hardly walk at one point. So I think that's my worst job, looking back. So yeah, what about you guys? Any of you guys had really bad jobs? What are your worst jobs? Let's try and make this a bit more two-way. Let's have some chat. You know you want to. At the bottom of the player, there's like a speech bubble icon. How will I spend Christmas? I've got a kind of a penciled in promise from a couple of you guys going to take me out on Christmas Eve, which is when the Europeans do Christmas. I I haven't heard from them for a while, but it's penciled in that they've booked a meal at a bar, at an outside restaurant type thing. It might just be a kiosk, and they said they're going to take me, but I haven't heard from them in a while. If you're out there, folks, you know who you are. Drop me a line. There's usually, after this finishes, I'll edit the description, put my email address in there. All of my videos, almost all, when I remember, have my email address in the description. So anyone who wants to communicate with me, contact me ever, you can always get me via email. deltamiketorrevieja@gmail.com. So that'll be Christmas Eve. The rest is just me here. I'll be sunbathing through the day, not wanting to make anybody jealous. But the days are still warm until 5 minutes before this broadcast started. I had my t-shirt. It was just shorts and t-shirts still. I spent 2 hours sat here today sunbathing. You know, we're in the middle of December. Is it still the middle? Yeah, it's about the middle, yeah. And I've sat here in shorts and t-shirt. I did dig out some warmer clothes, and they're in a chest of drawers that Karen gave me. I've got food in the bottom couple of drawers and clothes in the top few. But I haven't actually tried any of it on. And this is a bit of an issue because I'm told I've put weight on this year. From people that knew me like 6-9 months ago. I lost a lot of weight early on in my homeless journey. I wasn't eating properly, and I was doing a hell of a lot of walking every day. 2, 3, 4 hours walking around from bin to bin looking for things to collect. I haven't been doing the walking recently. Might have to start again shortly. We'll come back to that. But I've been eating better, and I haven't been doing as much physical activity. Also, last winter I was chopping a lot of wood, doing a lot of physical work, cutting and chopping wood. Now I've got the gas barbecue, and I just bought a gas bottle. That was last week, wasn't it? The beginning of last week. I refilled. I swapped the bottle for a full bottle. So I'm eating better and not doing as much physical graft and not walking as much. So will the clothes that I put away at the end of winter, the beginning of summer, will they still fit? It's a question. Because my waist went down from a 38-inch waist. UK size is 38, 48 Spanish size, I believe. For some reason they take inches and add 10. Don't know why. I don't know why the Spanish do a lot of things, but like translating names, what's that about? Don't know. But anyway, I don't know whether these clothes that I've just dug out, so I got them out of the bags and I put them in the drawers, but I didn't do like a fashion parade in between times. I didn't stand there trying things on. So this time last year I would be wearing 5 layers on an evening, on a night, because I was living outside. I would have a normal t-shirt, I would have a long sleeve t-shirt over that, a thin jumper over that, and a heavy jumper over that, and then over the lot I would put one of these shirts. And then if I needed it, a jacket, and occasionally it was so cold I would sleep in the jacket. So 6 layers, and then my bedding. This year inside the tent it's a little different, and I've got hot water bottles, and it's all different. It's all better this year. I'm in a much better position. But I may have stacked a bit of weight back on, I'm told. So maybe my clothes won't fit. So these are kind of the issues that I'm facing. Let's get onto this week proper. And the issues for this week, the main themes: water. I just missed a message, didn't I? I looked away. Oh, Jan, thank you very much, my friend. Money for beer is always appreciated. You know me too well. I get stick for that from some of you guys. Yeah. I had one guy, was that last week? Obviously Muslim. His first comment to me ever was, give up the booze and life will be better. Dinner girl, this way. Don't go walking off on me. Come here, okay. Oh. Sorry folks, she's finished eating her food and now she was about to wander off into the woods. But yeah, guy, first ever comment to me was, give up the booze, give up alcohol and life will become so much better. As if he interpreted me being in this position as being because of alcohol, I think. And just the general, you know, the non-alcohol vibe that certain religions have. So yeah, anyway, back to this week. The main themes of the week: water and the lack of. My main water source has disappeared. It's dried up on me. My only water source has gone. Solar power. It's winter. It's getting more difficult. Oh! Okay, we're alright for now. I need to move one of my solar panels shortly. It looks like it's okay for now. Hello there, NWO Slothbite. Just starting, mate, just starting. So, themes for the week: my lack of water, my difficulties managing solar, the cold nights. It's getting cool now at night. Most of this week I didn't bother with hot water bottles, but then Friday night, Saturday night, 2 nights on the trot. Booze does indeed cost a fortune, my friend, it does. Tina, she's barking at the bus. There's a bus stop right there at the top of the road. In fact, 2. One on this side, one on the other. And whenever there's a bus, I don't know what it is. It must be something about the noise that the engine makes or something. She just hates buses. Tina girl, you're pulling. Tina girl, you're pulling. She hates the buses. I don't know what that's about. Calm down, darling. Calm down. Cold nights, yeah. Hot water bottles the last 2 nights. On this next week, look at that bugger landed right on my nose, the cheeky sod. All week now is going to be 8 degrees or cooler at night. And tomorrow night, I think it's tomorrow, Monday night, yeah, it's going to be 6 degrees, according to the weather forecast. And the thing to bear in mind, folks, when the weather forecast says a certain temperature, Tina girl, oi! When the weather forecast says a certain temperature, it can be 2 or 3 degrees, it will usually be 2 or 3 degrees cooler here. And that can be the temperature inside the tent, and it can be a degree or 2 even colder outside. A couple of nights ago, I got a differential. No, I bark at buses too. I saw that, Phil. Yeah, it's cold weather. I got a differential between the forecast temperature and the actual temperature inside the tent of 5 degrees. It was 5 degrees cooler than the forecast said. 5 and that's inside, so it could be even colder out. I did try for one video the other day. I tried moving the clock, that's a thermometer. I brought that outside to try and measure the temperature difference. But I did it as the sun was starting to come over the tree, so it was morning, so it was getting warmer out here anyway. So I ruined my own experiment, really. Back at the moon. Yeah, that's her job, that's Tina's job. Hey babe, you're the one that howls at the moon. Sometimes. Where are we? And the other theme of the week, apart from alcohol, is tech issues. I've had a few issues with silly things, like the batteries I use on my light at night. They plug directly into a USB cable to recharge, and they're supposed to contain 3 times more charge than a standard battery. If I use real batteries in this light, I will get somewhere between 10 or 20 hours of usage out of standard batteries before I need to throw them away and replace them. these rechargeable ones that are advertised as containing way more charge, after 3 or 4 hours, they don't go off, but they dim down. The light takes a step change just to a dull glow rather than a light. So that's one tech issue I've got. Another is, the other day, after 2.5 days of overcast weather, I'll come back to that, Jan. After 2.5 days of being cloudy, so I got some sun for the first time, and I relaxed. I thought, oh, the panels are taking care of it. And then I plugged something into the battery box to try and charge from it. And it kept starting to charge, stopping. And when I opened the battery box and looked in at the charge controller, all the lights, they weren't doing like a controlled flash, which has a certain meaning. They were just flickering like crap. So I didn't know whether the 2-3 hours of charge that I'd been collecting was lost or not. And in the end, this isn't a battery box I put together. This was Mark and Jeff. Sorry, nearly forgot your name. I didn't put this together, so I didn't know how any of it worked. So I took the battery box apart and tried pressing the on-off button to no effect. So I did a long press, and it kind of rebooted, and it came back on and stabilized, but wasn't putting any charge out on the USB line for me to use. So it indicated that it was collecting power, it just wasn't making it available to me. So I tried a few short presses on the button, like just hitting the button at random, and eventually got it working. But I still don't know whether I lost those 2 or 3 hours of charge. I don't know what went wrong. I don't know why it went wrong. I don't know if it'll go wrong again. Bit of a concern, because power is important to me. This phone kind of, I don't know. I don't know about saved my life, but it saved my mental state. Well, actually, no, I need to bought me a radio before this. Two ladies put together to buy me this phone. When they told me they were going to buy me a phone, I thought they were going to buy me a cheap second-hand phone. But they surprised me. They just took me to the shop and just bought a brand new phone and paid for a couple of months' data. There seems to be a lot of people out there, guys, that have either lived in camper vans or lived in cars. It seems to be quite a common thing. There's a couple of blokes in America that I follow that are similarly positioned in a similar predicament. I'm just trying to remember the names of their channels. Give them a shout out. I'll add it to the description after. One Ageless Nomadic or Ageless Nomad is a guy who's, I think he's travelled across America in his car to get from where he was. I think he seems to have issues with his ex and custody of kids and things. And he's, as he puts it, he's trying to get from having nothing to having everything. He wants to get access to his kids and maybe get his kids back. Ageless Nomadic. Worth a shout. Much higher production values than me. The guy he doesn't just do this on his phone like I am. He's got an iPhone and he had a Mac laptop. Yeah, much better production values than me. Doing a much better job. Sorry, I saw that I just missed a chat there again. Camper life. Yeah, a lot of camper life and van life and tent life is another hashtag that's used a lot. Kind of where I started with tramp life. I had tramp life and tent life for a while before coming up with TrampCast. But I think YouTube don't like the use of the word tramp. I'm distinctly getting that idea. The last month or 6 weeks, my videos have been going nowhere. And now I've reduced using the word tramp and doing much better. And suddenly I'm getting new subscribers where things have been stagnant for quite a while. For quite a while now, it's been gain 2, lose 2, gain 2, lose 2. And we're doing much better now. We're on the move again. We're on the way up. I think we're about to hit 325, or did we? We might have just hit 325 earlier today. We were on 306 a few days ago, so yeah, things are on the way up. Anyway, guys, those are the issues for this week. I kind of don't want to gloss over anything too much, and I don't want to be too long. Don't want to keep you all too long. Shall we make a start properly on the week? We've been here a while, 25 minutes, and we haven't really started. So Monday was one of those cloudy days where there's very little in the way of sun, and very little solar for me to harvest. And my portable panel, we still had quite a bit of the cloudiness, the bad surface. Bad mic, yeah. Still had quite a bit of that cloudy surface, that protective coating that had gone bad on the panels. So I had to take some toothpaste and some elbow grease to the solar panel again, and try and strip off a bit more of that, and try and eke out as much power as I could. Pretty much that was it for Monday. It's just staying in the camp, and cloudy day, just trying to harvest what little bit of sun there was. But then in the evening, a young lady and I think her mum turned up and stood on the little road here, the little track, and shouted "Tina," which causes me all kinds of problems. When the dog's on the bed and I've got mouse traps set in the doorway, and the tent door is pegged closed with safety pins, and Tina jumps off the bed, runs through the mouse traps, and pulls the door apart, while I'm busy trying to get my shoes on and battle my way out of the tent. But they'd brought us food, so it was worth it. They cook us a meal or two some weeks, most weeks recently, the last month or two. So they brought me this big Tupperware of rice in a kind of a tomato and onion sauce. So that's nice. But Tina running through that, well, one of them's a rat trap. It's not even a mouse trap. I got my hand stuck in it a couple of weeks ago, and I was in pain. It didn't actually, no visible bruise, but it caught me right across the kind of the bridge of the thumb here. I just, got me bad. No visible bruising, but I was in a little bit of pain for a little while. Yeah, phones are remarkable nowadays. You just without a phone, what can you do? Yeah, subscriptions are on the rise. It's good. It's good to see. I wonder if I could have a little push and try and get to 400 by New Year. Sounds a bit optimistic, but I did this once. I've done it a couple of times, I think. But I think when I was on like 35 or 40, and I announced I wanted to get to 100 by a certain date. And we missed it, but we got close, and we made it within the next week. And I think I did the same for 200. Announced it, had a push, did well, but didn't actually make it, and then got there a few days later. So I might try that. And of course, we've got the run up to Christmas. We're only 7 days away from where the Europeans do Christmas on the 24th. That'll be. So I might try like a baking stream every day or something, and I've got a few ideas, but this water situation's a problem for me. No water. We'll come to that. I might have to ask my neighbours for help. I might have to ask somebody for help, because my only water source is gone. Looks like it's gone until summer. Somebody told me that these foot wash things that people wash their feet at the beach, which is where I've been getting my water since last winter. Someone told me they turned them off. Well, last year this one was on all the way through. But I don't know if it's just an empty tank because it hasn't rained in so long, or if they have turned it off. I don't know, but I can afford to buy water for drinking, but I can't afford to buy it in a supermarket for like washing dishes and washing clothes. If I want to wash, let's say this shirt, 2 or 3 t-shirts, and my shorts, I need the best part of 30 litres of water. which would be 4 bottles. That'd be €4 worth almost. I can't afford that for clothes washing every week. So at the minute, I'm going to the supermarket. I think I went twice this week and bought water. But it's strictly for drinking, for me and the doggy. I'm not using that water for washing me or for washing clothes. I might have to jump in the sea. That'd be cold. Yeah. So anyway, guys, that was Monday. That was another thing that happened. Actually, before these people brought the cooked meal, a lady came across and brought me a bag of a pack of biscuits that her husband had bought and didn't like. You know those crackers? Is it Tuck? T-U-C. And this is interesting because Tina went crazy at her arrival, and the next day, Tuesday, somebody brought a bag of food and left it halfway up the path. And I'm wondering if it was the same lady. I'm wondering if she didn't want to upset the dog and start a performance. I don't know. Somebody left a bag of, and it was a good bag of food as well. A lot of open things, which is, someone, probably, my hypothesis is it's someone who's about to leave the country, going home for Christmas. And everything they've got in their cupboards that's open, they close them up. I've got a load of elastic bands on my wrist. Not because it's not as a sadomasochistic thing. I just didn't have anywhere else to put them after I took them off all these packs, crisps and biscuits and things. But there was also things like chorizo, like two separate types, and other bits and pieces that were handy. So we had lots of packets of crisps and biscuits. There's a separate video already out there. In the description, there's a list of this week's videos, including, I won't. You've either seen it or you're not interested, but rabbit stew. Oh yeah, rabbit stew. That was a good video. I enjoyed making that, and it got a lot of. Some of the statistics that YouTube rely on is how many hours people spend watching your videos, and that one did well for me. That one bumped up my numbers incredibly. Did really well. So where are we? Oh, it was Tuesday. Okay, Tuesday was the one with the mousetrap. Because I'd been out already, I'd moved the 2 mousetraps that are in the doorway. I generally have one outside the bedroom and one inside. And then there's this wire that carries the USB power and a light, the power for a light, into the tent. And this is what the mice used to get up and over the little, it's kind of a skirt you have to step over to get into the bedroom. Well, the mice use that to get in. And I'd moved them and not put them back in place when we'd been out for our morning walk. So I'm lying on the bed, watching a video or whatever, and I see some movement in the corner of my eye, and the sun's shining through the tent, so I thought it was just shadows, and then I saw a little tail, and I thought, bugger, there's one in here. And there's nothing I can do. I've tried chasing them in the past. I ended up causing damage. I had a pan one time and started smacking where they were, and I broke a couple of plates or bowls. Try to chase them out. Mice, you ever been up close and personal with them? They are so fast. They are incredibly fast little buggers, and they're intelligent. They are remarkably intelligent little beasties. Kind of got a sneaking admiration for them. Unfortunately, these 2, it turned out there were 2 in there, and I didn't know this. Suddenly, I didn't move from the bed. Suddenly, snap! There's a big crack. And I thought it sounded like one of the traps had gone off empty. You know, the spring, the metal had hit the wood, I thought. And I left it a minute or 2 because if there's one in there and it's writhing, what's the right word? Writhing in agony, kind of, doing its dying thing. There's nothing I can do for them at that point. I can't help them. There's no point torturing myself with the sight of them kind of taking their last breath or dying. So I just left. I didn't look. I just left it for a couple of minutes, and then I looked, and I could see a mouse caught like across the middle, and clearly dead. Okay, fine. Left it another minute. Then I went to take the mouse trap out. It was the rat trap. It was the big trap. I went to take it out to kind of empty, dispose of the mouse. And before I picked it up, I noticed something else at the side. There's another mouse there, caught by the tail. And I thought, that can't have killed it. I thought, maybe he's just stunned. Maybe he's just lying there pretending. So I gave him a little nudge. Dead. But caught by the tail, but dead. And I don't get it. I don't know if the traps caught him and like bounced, and in the meantime he's moved out. The other one hadn't. I don't know. I wonder, maybe does their spine go right down into their tail, and if you break the tail, does that kill them? Is that a broken back kind of thing? I don't know. But yeah, a twofer, 2 dead in one go. And I did my usual, said sorry to them. I just can't have them running around in my bedroom. Don't want to take a life. I don't want to kill them. But if you let them run, if you let them go, if you let them carry on, kind of a laissez-faire attitude, they bring more and more. And then the bigger ones come along with them. And those you don't want, because those are cheeky bastards. Those don't hide. I've had before, when it wasn't a tent, when I was under a tarpaulin suspended over 6 broom handles that were hammered into the ground, and a wooden arch that I made to lift the roof up. When that was my shelter, there was no plastic flooring, there was no... This is the benefit of having a tent and a bedroom. It's kind of a sealed unit apart from the doorway. They're not coming in unexpected areas. When it was just a tarp, they could come in at any angle, and they did. But the rats would they'd just stroll across. They'd look at me and still just carry on, amble across. They didn't run away at the sight of me. So I'm chasing them with a big knife, a big woodsman's kind of carpenter's knife. So yeah, I don't want to be killing mice, but I can't just let them just run around willy-nilly. So that was my Tuesday. How many tangents we go on there. So like I said, it was there was sun that day. So Monday was cloudy, Tuesday was sunny, so I had some power. But then Wednesday was yeah. The weather forecast had been for sun in the morning and cloud in the afternoon. That was just so wrong. I don't know if I've released this video yet. It was cloudy from the start, and it was thick, heavy, looked like thunderclouds on the horizon there. So that was from the off. It just looked like rain all day. It actually held off, which is good. It held off, but that night was a struggle for power, because I was running on the solar that was left over from the day before, and I'd gotten on that day. So it was a real battle just to... Okay, the wind's picking up. One of my empty water bottles is now blowing around. So yeah, it was a real struggle, and I think that was when I discovered this second power saving mode on the phone. So I always have this battery saving mode activated, almost always. And I discovered this kind of super high battery saving mode, where it turns everything off, almost. And if you've got 50% power on your phone, it tells you your phone's going to last like 40 or 50 hours. But then I create exceptions and start running kind of video players in the background, but with the screen turned off. Download a video, set it playing, turn the screen off, and turn off all the internet and everything. And that gets me through most most times. But I ran out of power this night. I ran out entirely. So this is going to become more and more of an issue as we're into winter. We haven't got much more before it starts getting, before the days start getting longer again. What we got? A few days, 21st or 23rd. Different countries have different interpretations of the shortest day, longest night. Where are we now? It's like, is it the 17th or something? Today's the 17th, so 4 days. Thursday. Yeah. So the days will start getting longer again soon. But it'll be January, February, it'll be cold and cloudy and rainy. Because winter. So yeah. Takes us through to Thursday. Like I said, I'd run out of power entirely. My phone was off and I was listening to the radio on battery power. Still use it, Anita, if you're out there. I still use your radio. I'm ever so sorry for Damien's radio. Damien bought me a radio torch thing it did solar, it did wind up, and it supposedly could take power from USB and give the power back out via USB. Those things never worked, the USB part. But his radio just didn't last. It just stopped working one day, and I'd only been using it about a month, which was a shame because it was brilliant. Just normal daylight. If I left it on this table here, it got enough power to work all night, more or less. But it's gone. It didn't carry on working, unfortunately. So anyway, Thursday, started the day, like I said, listening to the radio and running out of power on the phone. But it was a very sunny day. So that was good. Got everything charged back up. Charged the phone. Charged the tablet that I use as a reserve power bank. I use it as a tablet as well, don't get me wrong. Owen, if you're out there, thank you, my friend. I do use it as a tablet, but it's also a handy reserve power supply where I can use my OTG cable and charge the phone from the tablet. Everybody should get an OTG cable, on-the-go cable. Fantastically useful. But I charged that up, and I got the batteries for my lights. Not just the ones in the light. I've got 8 batteries, 3 in the light and 5 that don't get used very often. They're held in reserve. But if you charge a battery and don't use it, it depletes over time on its own. So I put those in and jogged those back up, got those back up to full charge. Oh, this is where we're going, yeah. Thursday was a fairly cold night as well. Oh, that was when I released the rabbit stew video. Thursday. That was a good day for me, YouTube-wise. The rabbit stew video was popular. And not just the number of people who watched it, but the length that you watched it. People enjoyed it, even though it's me bimbling about in a field, getting everything wrong. Dropping things and starting the meal with meal prep, where I'm cutting out bits of mouldy carrot and celery that's one of the stalks has gone kind of rancid. Because I'm a tramp, I live in a field and not everything goes according to plan. If you've watched any of my cookery videos, you know that nothing goes according to plan. I even messed up the end of the video. I took the food away and said, hey, I'll tell you afterwards how it was. I didn't. I sat inside and ate as much as I wanted, gave Tina the end of the, my eating bowl is basically a pan. It's this pan. This is my food receptacle. It's a pan. But it's a bowl with a handle, So I ate what I needed or wanted. And then I gave Tina the rest. And then I just put the bowl on the floor and kind of put a video on and went to sleep. I didn't record a kind of a, hey, it was lovely in spite, I didn't give my thoughts and feelings. So I had to add that, I had to just dub that in after, when I finalised the video. And it was a different, obviously, it's a different day. And the wind was blowing a gale and I'm inside the tent trying to do this voiceover. and the tent's blowing like hell and rippling away in the background. Is there no beginning to my talents? Yeah. So anyway, yeah, that was Thursday, releasing that video. I finished editing it at like, I don't know, 6 or 7 in the morning, and got it out there. Set it to release at 8 or 9 in the morning. So yeah, harvested the solar, realised it was going to be a cold night, but made a decision not to bother with hot water bottles. Save gas. It takes me up to half an hour to boil the 6 litres of water that I need for my 3 hot water bottles. And obviously I'm just reusing the same water over and over. And due to spills and things, I lose some. And I don't want to be using my expensive drinking water until I can get this water situation sorted. So yeah, I gotta sort that. But this is when I hung this picnic blanket in the doorway to try and block the door and block the drafts, make it because the door doesn't close, and neither does my internal door, the bedroom door. That doesn't reach. Nothing reaches. Because of the dome and the material having a big slit across the top and everything's slipping down, everything's further apart. At any point between the kind of the ceiling and the floor, everything's further apart than it should be. So yeah, nothing reaches, nothing fits. So I wanted to just plug this gap, and hanging a blanket in the doorway seemed like a good idea, but it has made it more difficult to get in and out, and I have exacerbated the damage to the door itself in my struggles. So yeah, brings us to Friday. Cold morning. Cold because it'd been cold at night, but no hot water bottle. And the morning was cold. How cold? Friday morning. I think it was 8 o'clock. At 8 o'clock, no, at 9 o'clock, it was still only 8 degrees. Yeah, 9 o'clock, 8 degrees. Because the sun was, well, it wasn't above the trees, but it was out. So it should have been starting to get warm, and it just wasn't. I was freezing my bits off. And yeah, Tina wouldn't rest. She kept nudging me, licking my face, which is her way of saying, "Get up, we've got to go out, unless you want a mess in your bed." She's good like that. She does let me know. It's a long night for her, because we'll do our evening walk 5 or 6 o'clock just before it goes dark. Sometimes if we're out, if we're doing the hot water bottle thing, 9, 10 o'clock, I'll take her for an extra walk. But she can, poor thing, she can be waiting 15, 16 hours for her next walk. But then she's not drinking water overnight, so she manages. But when she needs to go, she lets me know. Don't you, girl? Look at this. There she is. Hey, babe. Say hello to the peoples. Yeah. Yeah. That's my girl. But she's good like that. She does like, unless she's got a really, really, unless she's ill. Well, even when she's ill, she'll tell me. She'll let me know. Can be a nuisance at 3 o'clock in the morning. Can be a nuisance at 3. Tina, go. Tina. Shush, shush. Tina. Shush. I think someone's just pulled up. I think they want a word. Give me a minute. Hey, Tina. Shush, shush. Shush, Tina. Shush, shush. Come on. Is anybody still here? That's nice. Lady, one of the neighbours, a lady from up the road, just pulled up and she brought me a jacket, brought a coat. But I have lots. Another guy, I think it was last week, a guy came and said he'd bring me some bedding the next day, and I thanked him, but said no, thank you. I've got quilts and blankets. I've got a bag over here where I started planning for a second camp in case I ever got moved on or had my stuff robbed. There's like an extra quilt, an extra blanket. A quilt, I think the Scandinavians call it a Nordic. If any of you are Scandinavian, a lot of people don't know what a quilt is. But I've got extra. I've got a blanket that's folded up and that I just use as a pillow at the minute. But that's nice when people stop and offer help. Yeah, that's nice. Sorry guys, I had to leave you, but I can't be ignoring someone who's right there. You heard the dog though. The dog, she's defensive. Defending our territory. So where were we? We were on Friday. Oh! Did any of you watch my magic video? My magical knife skills from. It's an excerpt from my rabbit stew video. It's actually in the rabbit stew video, but I took out a 30-second portion and stuck some titles either side of it. That's worth a watch. Links in the description. If you down below where it says Delta Mike down and out in Torrevieja, and then it says more, you click more and it'll give you a description, and click more again to expand it. And there's links to this week's videos, and one of them is my magical knife skills. It's more my magical video editing skills, which aren't that great because I'm doing this on a phone, guys. Everything's on a phone. I don't have. There's no laptop. Obviously, there's no electricity. I got enough power to charge something from USB and keep a phone going, and that's it. I got a tablet as well. Yeah. But I had never edited a video in my life until May, the end of May, when I started this channel. My first ever video, and it's not just my first ever YouTube video, it was my first ever video, cooking up a storm, is what I called it, because there was a week's worth of rain headed our way. Thunder and lightning every day for 10 days, I think, was predicted. So that's when I made and edited my first ever video on this phone. So yeah, that's still out there, cooking up a storm. I then, that video did two things at once, which I didn't like in the end. I learned to try not to do that. It was a cookery video and introducing me and the storm that was coming on. I edited it down into two separate videos at one point later, a couple of months later. But cooking up a storm, I think it might be cooking up a storm in Torrevieja. Can't quite remember. But that video's still out there, my first ever video. Yeah. Where was I? Friday. Oh, my onion chopping video. It's worth a watch, I liked it. It's only a short, 30 seconds maximum, guys. 30 seconds, it's worth a look. Links in the description. Go and watch it afterwards. And don't forget to hit like when you see it, because, it's... See if we can get it seen by a few more people. Oh, this is the day. Okay, after I'd released this video and taken Tina for her early walk, I'd been awake since 3 o'clock that day. I fell asleep about 11 the night before and woke up at 3, and that was me. I couldn't get back off. So I got up, took her for an early walk, like I said, just after the sun had come up. Quarter of an hour, maybe half an hour after the sun came up. And we got back to the tent, and I had a look at the stats for this video that had been released, and so it was doing okay. And then I fell asleep. 10 o'clock until nearly 3 in the afternoon. Which, here's the thing, sunny day, I missed it. I didn't see much of the day. And worse still, I didn't move the solar panel around. So it was left in its morning position facing this way towards this tree Meanwhile, the sun's over there and only tangentially getting on the solar panels, both of them. So a good solar day, and I didn't capture much. A little bit, enough to get by, but it was a struggle. And this was the one where I looked at the weather forecast and saw they were predicting 7 degrees. Bearing in mind when they say 7, knock 3 off because it's usually cooler here than they say. So that's 4. That's not good. I'm in a tent that the wind blows through where there's no roof. I've got a tarp over the top of the roof because it's split from end to end. The door doesn't close. The inner door, the bedroom, doesn't close. So this is where I went into full hot water bottle mode. Had to do all 3 hot water bottles. I've got 2 2-litre pop bottles, and a friend, one of you gals, Karen, she bought me an actual hot water bottle for my birthday. So I made all 3 up. 6 litres of water. It takes about half an hour in the cold. See, that's the other thing, having to boil the water in the cold. It takes longer. But I also, Friday night, this is where I made my jacket potatoes. I cooked, I just put a couple of kilograms, about 8 potatoes. It's probably more than a couple in it, I don't know. I put 8 potatoes and 3 onions in the barbecue, along with some charcoal and some wood. Lit the gas under it, got it burning, and then within 3 minutes, I think, turned the gas off. And I had it just right this time. In the past, I've struggled to control the temperature properly doing this. I had 2 trays of charcoal or wood in there in the past, and I burnt the outside skins because it was like 400, nearly 500 degrees in there. But with just the 1 tray of charcoal and wood mixed together, I got it just right. So I cooked these jacket potatoes and onions, brought 2 or 3 of the jackets in, and an onion, a baked onion, and me and the doggy ate those in bed. And then an hour later I came out and did the hot water bottle thing, maybe 2 hours later. Yeah, it was good, that was good. Because I get the benefits of having a barbecue, the cooking, but without using my gas. I'm still not sure that bottle should have cost 20 euros. I still think I was ripped off by the guy. And I can't check, the Repsol website doesn't list the bloody price properly. I don't know. So jacket potato. I had my jacket potatoes. This was good because of the food delivery that I had earlier in the week. I already had butter, and I had a little bit of grated cheese left, but I had the chorizo. So here I am, a tramp living in a field with jacket potatoes, butter, grated cheddar, and chorizo. That's not bad. That's not a bad life. That's not bad at all. So yeah. So then we go into the cold night. I've got my hot water bottles, and I go in, and after an hour, the tent is 2 degrees warmer than it had been before. And I'm tucked in the bed with all the hot water bottles, so it's even warmer where I am. But in the night, we reached the dew point. The temperature fell low enough, so everything is getting damp out here. And the outside of the tent gets wet through. But later in the night, the inside of the tent gets wet. And little water droplets form on the inside. And another hour later, they start falling. Not just running down, but actually dripping. It rains inside the tent, literally. It's kind of fun, except when you realise that's your life, that's where you're living. So yeah, that was a night. Okay, on to Saturday. We're nearly there now, folks, not long to go. Saturday and Sunday. And I'll talk briefly about what I've got coming up this week. If that's alright with you guys. Comments, questions, if you're bored, if I'm going on too much, feel free, tell me. If you haven't already, I'd appreciate a thumbs up. Oh, we just hit the hour. Wow. Okay, let's get this done before the hour and a half, shall we? Maybe. So, Saturday morning, I had a lovely walk with Tina. Lovely, lovely. The sunshine over the other side of these trees behind me here. Another 100 metres on, the cliff tops. It's a lovely spot. Like to just sit there some days. Just the cliff's it's not a cliff. You can actually walk down it, or you can walk halfway down and sit. With the sun shining on you, and if the wind's coming from behind you, it goes over the top of you. You know, if you sat far enough down, so you're shielded from the wind. It's a lovely spot. So we had a lovely walk, and I think I did a video, but I haven't released it yet. I'm not sure whether to release like a Saturday video or a Saturday and Sunday weekend with a hobo kind of thing. That's the other thing, the tramp word. Trying not to use it because they don't like it. They seem to suppress my videos more the more I use that word, the less my videos get out there. That's interesting. So, Saturday morning before the walk, I woke up early and had the rest of the baked potatoes and the baked onions. Nice breakfast. Cold, but lovely. Lovely. Jacket potatoes for breakfast. Not bad for it, and more chorizo and cheese again. It's not bad. I don't do too bad on the food thing at the minute. For a tramp, it's not bad. Tramp, hobo, indigent, homeless. Call me what you want. I do get called some names by people, but yeah, okay. So where are we? Where are we? Saturday, there we are. I lost my place on my list. I like the fact that I bought this pad so that I can actually write these notes down instead of having to try and remember them, because I can't switch out of this app. The YouTube app ends the stream if I accidentally click on anything else. So, it's a good sunny day, like I said, nice weather, and got a lot of charge done. Got everything charged again. Got the phone charged, got the tablet charged to 100%, got all of the batteries in the light charged. Got the full clean sweep, got everything done. And I think that's because of the work that I'd done on my portable panel. Taking that extra surface off, that crackle, that white, and getting better performance now. I don't know if these panels are in series or in parallel. And if they're in series, a blockage, a low production one might affect the, might mean power goes to waste, might get lost. I don't fully know. I don't fully understand how these panels are built, and to find out I'd have to tear it apart, and I'm not doing that. They're too important to me. So yeah, got everything fully charged. So last night I decided that my favourite YouTube programs, I would just watch them, like with the phone on, with the screen on, rather than waiting till afterwards and downloading them and then listening to them with the screen off, as I had been doing in low power mode. I decided to watch them. Can you guess what happened? I put one on that's like 3 or 4 hours long, fell asleep, and so my phone burnt through 4 hours of battery life that I didn't even get to see. I woke up this morning with the phone on 6%. What a fucking idiot. 6%. I wasted all that power. And then just to keep the phone going, I had to use the power bank that I charged from the portable panel. And I plugged it in, and I thought I'll add 10 or 20%, and then I'll unplug it, leave power in the power bank, and then add to it today in the sun. Fell asleep. Woke up and my phone had charged to 76%, from 6% up to 76, which is tremendous. Except it's robbed it from the power bank, hasn't it? So then the power bank's starting from scratch again. Like I said, guys, is there no beginning to my talents? I if there's a way to do it wrong, I'll bloody find it. So that was this morning. That was no, that was Saturday morning. Sorry, no, Saturday into this morning. We just started Sunday, waking up with the phone on 76%, but all of the power bank drained. And here we go. Another lovely walk. It's a sunny day. You can see today's lovely and sunny again. Lovely and sunny again. The same lady just driving past that offered me the jacket before. I feel bad saying no to people, but if I'm not careful, I get things, I won't say dumped, but I've already got 4 different jackets in there. You know, how many coats do you need? I said I dug out my jumpers. I haven't tried them on yet. I don't know if they still fit. But anyway, yeah. That's a difficult one. Last year I offended somebody by turning down their stuff. They thought I was turning it down. They thought I was being picky and turning it down for quality reasons. It's bedding again. They were offering me bedding, but I've already got more than enough. So I thank them very much, you know. But I have to be quite insistent that no, otherwise it just piles up and I'm walking on it. It's not a TARDIS in there. It's just a tent with a double bed that I built. That's a good video to watch. I'll put a link to that in the description afterwards if anybody wants it. Where I built a bed. It's just piles of bricks with wooden beams across and then planks over the beams and then 2 mattresses put on top. But it is what it is. It works for me and the doggy. The idea was to get us off the ground because this field, historically, this field floods. Tina girl, that's my arm you're pulling on. This field floods, so I want it to be 1 or 2 feet off the ground. Feet as in a distance, not 2 feet, 60 centimetres, half a metre say, off the ground. In case it floods. But it doesn't flood anymore, because they did some drainage work at the top of the field. So that's good. Anyway, Sunday morning, like I said, I woke up, phone pretty much fully charged, but drained the power bank. Sunny day, lovely dog walk, get the panels out and start harvesting solar again, as you do. Otherwise I won't be able to talk to you nice people. Otherwise I wouldn't be able to talk to you nice people. So a lovely walk, 2 hours sunbathing this afternoon, sat here waving as people go by. There's a little path here, a little road, waving at the walkers and the cars, just sunbathing, drinking my coffee. Again, cheers to you guys, the viewers, especially those of you, if you've been here a while. Cheers to the subscribers. I want to get those numbers up. If you haven't subscribed already, folks, please do consider it. And if you haven't, I'd appreciate a thumbs up, either now or at the end. Yeah. And then, like I said, links to my latest videos in the description. Down, I'm waving my hand like this, and it wasn't in front of the camera. Links in the description to this week's videos. I recommend two in particular. The onion chopping, the magical knife skills one, and the rabbit stew video. I like them. Okay, the rest of my Sunday, after 2 hours sitting here in the sun, I had to go inside for an hour or so to prep for this. Had to take my notes off the phone and put them on the writing pad, because like I said, I can't, once we start broadcasting, I can't see the phone. I can't see anything on the phone except for my ugly mug. There it is. Changing apps would end the stream, and that's disaster. And it's a hassle to make another stream afterwards. There's another, we had that one time, didn't we? One of the streams, 007, my James Bond themed stream. Wasn't really, but episode 7, everything went tits up when something popped up on screen, and I clicked it, and it took us out of the app and killed the stream. So yeah, you wouldn't think it, guys. There is preparation goes into this. There is preparation goes into what I do here. Not a lot, but you know, enough. About an hour. I keep notes each day, or try to each day through the week, and in an app, just a note-taking app. then the thing with the facts and the getting to know you questions, and then just try and come up with some general themes for the week. Just some notes, just sitting here talking to myself for an hour and a half. I'm not used to it. The last year I've hardly talked to anybody, but you know, that's why I've got a dog. Hey babe. Tina go. Yeah, it's my girl. Hey, oh, okay, you're avoiding me. So that's it so far for today, guys. That's it so far for this week. Preparing for TrampCast 14. As to the upcoming week, yeah, you know, I said earlier, I might try and do some baking this week. Probably videos rather than live streams, because too much can go wrong. At least I get a chance to edit out the worst of the bad bits when it's a proper video. My water issues. I really don't know what I'm going to do for water. I maybe should have asked that lady that was there. I'll grab one of the other neighbours when they're walking past in the next day or two and just ask, can I come and get some water? My trolley's here, look, I don't know if you can see this. My trolley is here. Oh, didn't take the click. You see the water bottles stacked up on top of each other? On the trolley. That Harry and Jill brought me. Oh boy. Is that zoomed? Or is that just me? So, yeah, if I can just regular tap water. And that would save me all the purifying as well, wouldn't it? Because at the minute I have to use water purification tablets or boil the water. So yeah, that's my water issue. It's becoming a thing. It's been about 10 days now, I think. Or was it last Saturday? Was it Saturday morning? Yeah, 7 or 8 days then. Since I discovered that my water supply is no longer usable. So that's baking, water, cold nights. It's going to be cold every day this week, every night this week. On Monday night, 6 degrees. Knock off 3 because it's colder here. We could be looking at frost. Just here in the tramp camp. Potentially. That's not something you get very often in Torrevieja. But just here, because I'm in a hollow, somewhere around 3 degrees and the condensation, it could happen, especially if there's a bit of a breeze, a bit of a wind chill factor. I don't know. It's not a great thought. And the other thing that I'm thinking of doing, 2 kinds of videos. I want to do a year in review video. Now the channel started at the end of May. The last week of May, I think it was. So there's no video of the first 5 months. But what I do have, I'd promised somebody, it was kind of a joke, but I went along. I was making notes, a lot like this, but on paper. Because the idea was that I would write a book one day. You know, I have an education. I can string some words together. So the idea was to document my experiences and perhaps write a book. So somewhere in the tent, if I can dig them out, there's 4 or 5 months worth of notes. Maybe more, because I started doing them, I think, in the November or the December. So I have written notes that I could somehow turn into a video, either just me reading the notes or chatting like this. Or maybe I can do some footage and do a voiceover. I don't know. So that's one idea. And the other is, and this is a biggie, I have to do this, a thank you video for all the people that have helped in practical terms, you know, real help. Like the lady and gent up the road there that when my tarpaulin split in half, this is before the tent split in half, I had a tarpaulin, an old one that a builder had thrown away. Lots of holes in it, but it was working for me. But we had a really bad storm, well, a whole weekend of storm. And on the Sunday afternoon, this tarp split in half and dumped a load of water into my shelter as it then was. And I had no idea what the hell I was going to do. I had a smaller tarp that was just on the bed. But then, an hour, maybe two after this thing had split, some people walking by went past, and I kind of waved and whatever. But an hour or two later, this lady and gent came back and brought me a new tarpaulin, brand new. And that's the one that, if you watch my earliest videos, that's the one that was falling apart by the end of May because of the sun. The ultraviolet, plus the wind, plus the fact it was just perched on top of 6 broom handles. You know, very much jerry-rigged. But people who help like that are Damien and Simon. Damien, who brought me all sorts of things, clothing, food, alcohol, tarpaulins, tape. And then Simon, who rocked up a week or two later and brought the tent. Fucking tent. How do you thank people? You know, what can you do? Where do I begin? Anita and Tina, who bought the phone for me, and you know, and other things, a flask, and a radio, batteries for the radio. All of these people and all of these things. My empty water bottles are blowing around. It's getting quite windy, cold and windy. It's not a good combination. Not a good combination. But that's one thing I want to do for a video, is I need time to prep it all out, to remember as many people as possible. I won't remember everybody because I'm fallible. So apologies to anybody I miss. Karen, the haircuts, the food, the hot water bottle. The other thing, I've got a bag here of Christmas presents that I haven't, obviously I haven't opened yet. It's not Christmas yet. But she gave me cash as well. All of these things, all of you people. So over the course of the next week, I'll be contacting people as well. Some people, I'm not great at keeping in touch with people. I am not good at that. It's always been a failing. I'm not good at maintaining relationships, staying in touch, communicating. I've always had I don't make phone calls, guys. I don't do phone calls or video calls. This amazes me that I'm able to do this, that I'm able to talk for coming up for an hour and 20. I'm not a great communicator. I'm not great. I have anxiety. If I had to make a phone call, this is why, it's not why my business closed. It closed because I came to Spain. But if ever I had to make a phone call, there'd be 5 or 10 minutes preparation first, and there'd be anxiety. Some calls I would be dreading from the night before. I would be thinking about them. I get anxious about this kind of stuff. It's another reason that it's good to do the prep here, so that I don't forget things. I feel a bit more confident, a bit more level-headed coming into these things. But the people that I do have direct contact with, the people I've got email addresses or WhatsApp or Messenger, I'll be contacting this week just to say, hey, I appreciate you. If any of you are watching and we've not in touch, ping me, email, messenger, whatever channel that we've used in the past, ping me. I apologise. I'm not good at this. It's not personal. It's not that we've fallen out. I don't often fall out with anybody. I'm just a poor communicator. I don't put in the right amount of effort to maintain a friendship. I'm bad at that, and I apologise. So that's something on my list for oh, my mate Ismail back. How long ago was that? Sorry, this app isn't flashing up when there are messages. There are messages here that I've missed. Apologies, folk. Apologies. Are you still there, Ismail? I appreciate that, Phil. Do I have plans to live the tramp life? Yeah, I want to. I don't know if you're still here, Phil. Yeah, you can watch it on the replay. I want to leave here, but my bank won't let me have my money. And I've got a legal thing hanging over me that means I can't leave just yet. Can't leave Spain. So the plan is get this legal thing out of the way, kick my bank's backside. Santander, I am coming for you one day. You will pay for this. Bastards. Pardon my French. Yeah, I want to get back to England. I want to get back to England. I mean, I would have liked to have carried on living in Spain, but I'm not legal, so that won't. When my legal thing is resolved, that will be an issue that, steps will have to be taken to rectify. I will have to leave the country, preferably under my own volition, rather than being whatever the word is, where they kick you out. I can't remember the word. Oh, deported. There's a word. There we go. I get there in the end, folks. I get there. This is why I no longer do pub quizzes. I can know the answer, and then with my team I have to play kind of guessing games. If you're trying to name a film, I'll name an actor and then another actor, or I won't even remember the name of the actor. I'll tell them a different film he was in. Then they'll get the actor, and then we'll get the film. So yeah, it's difficult. What else have I missed? Yeah, they charge for accounts over here, yeah. I don't have a Spanish bank account. That was probably one of the things that I did wrong. Having 2 English accounts. And then COVID, and then my cards expired. I got a card for one of the banks, but not the other. Used all the money out of that bank, but then couldn't access the other account. And now they say that they've closed my account, not closed, dormant. They've declared the account dormant until I walk into my branch, not just our bank. I have to walk into my branch back in England. Do you see the catch-22? I need my money to get back there. They won't let me have my money until I'm back there. So I'm living in a fucking field. Thank you, Santander. I appreciate it. I contacted a financial journalist from one of the newspapers. I'm hoping to get some coverage and bring pressure to bear. But we'll see. Maybe if I can get some coverage. If I can get enough followers and then get people to tweet at the financial journalists or directly at Santander Bank. Maybe. And here's another one. Santander UK is separate from Santander in Europe, I'm told. So there's no, like I said, they told me I literally had to walk into my branch back in England. Not just a Santander branch, my branch. Even worse, my branch closed. The branch I used to open the account doesn't even exist. That'll be an extra complication. So yeah, anyway, I guess, I don't know, folks. Were there any other questions or points? Have I missed anybody else? Damn, yeah, I know, it's not great. Oh, I can double click. Was it a double click or a long click? What did that? I didn't know that was a thing. Okay. Hide user, put user in timeout, remove report, pin message. Didn't know that was a thing. I don't know. I'm supposed to be good with technology. Look at me waving my finger in front of the camera. The big picture. Thank you for that comment. That's nice. Thank you. There's my matey Smith. Phil enjoying the lifestyle details. Yeah, Yeah, we said, didn't we, Phil? Yeah, we said we'd try and meet up. Yeah, and buckets with a runoff for water. Yeah. Okay. I think we're coming to an end, folks. I don't know. Anybody got any more questions or things they want to... Stephen, sorry, mate. I didn't see your message. This thing hasn't been popping up when new messages have been coming in. Sloth bite with the... You found some coats. Yeah, I've got a really heavy... You're probably not even here still, are you? Yeah, you are. I got a big survival jacket last winter. A huge thing. Would have been the right size for me before I lost weight. Before this thing happened. But then I lost, what? Down from 100 kilos plus, down to 60... Someone threw away some weight scales last Christmas. I took them out and just weighed myself on them. Zeroed them first. Spring ones, you know, the normal bathroom scales. The old ones, not digital or anything. And I was down to 67 kilograms. From 100 and... I would vary between 99 and 104, depending on which side of Christmas we were on normally. I would put 4 or 5 kilos on over Christmas. With the booze and chocolates, typically. But not last year. Although, actually, I did have a fantastic score. I had a fantastic find last year. Someone on the street just over yonder there, just back there, works in a supermarket, apparently. And they put out a bin bag of food that the supermarket was throwing away. Stuff that was on its date, exactly on its date, but that would, you know, they wouldn't be able to sell from the supermarket. Because they closed Christmas Day and maybe the day after. I can't remember. Was Christmas a Saturday last year? I can't remember. But so there was this bin bag full of pasties and pastries and cakes and yogurts and pizzas, already cooked pizzas. So I had this fantastic. I took 2 Mercadona bags, the king of shopping bags, Mercadona bags. Don't care what anybody says. Mercadona bags, I think, are the best I've ever seen. They're the best in the world, as far as I know. If I was studying one, I could pick myself up using one. You know what I mean? They're almost unbreakable, unless you've let the rodents chew at the stitching. And then they can break with catastrophic effect when you're carrying 16 litres of water. Oh, bastards. But yeah, I took 2 bags and filled them with goodies from this bag that was being thrown away. Yeah. That's interesting because I had a log here. I'd set a fire, like a Yule log, and I never got to light it because I had all this ready cooked food. Just pull out and eating. Yeah, I didn't cook at all. I didn't set a fire at all. And it was wet last Christmas or last winter. So before anybody starts about you shouldn't have a fire, blah blah, it was all right. It would have been okay to have a fire. Might even have been difficult to get it lit at times, but I didn't need it. I had ready cooked food. And I found the day after, I think I found a pile of 5 pizzas, full-size pizzas. You know, the type that you just take out the bag and put in the oven. Tina girl, stop it. A couple of days before Christmas, this was an even better one. I put my hand in a bin and I was feeling around. It was ice cold. So I picked the bag out. Someone was clearing out their freezer. And there was ice creams and ice lollies and there were salmon steaks and octopus and all sorts. That's right. A few days before Christmas, I had a big fish stew, and that's where the bottom dropped out of my pot. Oh, I had this ceramic crock pot type thing, like a slow cooker thing, but ceramic, and I had it on the fire, and the fire got a bit too hot, and some stones underneath went ping, and smashed, kind of exploded, and must have chipped this this ceramic pot. That, together with the fact that the fire gets way too hot, you can't really control the temperature of a fire. It's not like turning the gas up and down. And I cooked this fish stew, and when I went to lift the pot up with the lugs at the side, it came up The bottom of the pot just stayed still on the iron rack on the above the fire, and all the liquid just oozed out of the side. But all the food stayed on the ceramic pot, so I was able to rescue all the food, but I lost all the liquid from the stew. That'll be maybe, I don't know, 3-4 days before Christmas. Like I said, I've got notes of all this. I will need to make like catch-up videos from before the tramp life, before the YouTube channel started. Tina, what are you doing? She's eating a bush. She's chewing the wood from a bush. I don't know, guys. I don't know. I think that's me for this week. We're on an hour and a half, aren't we? So I think we'll, unless anyone's got anything else to say, I'll just tap this button and see if there's been any more. Yeah, I have to go to UK branch to yeah, all the power of attorney stuff. You have to organise it before you come out here. My wife, my ex, she asked about all of that, and she went in with a marriage certificate and everything, and we're technically still married. They wouldn't have anything to do with it. They wouldn't listen. They wouldn't. She said, "Well, look, call him. You know, do the Facebook thing, messenger thing. He can show you his passport over the phone." Because my mate Ismo, who was here before, I don't know if he still is, with his bank. He lost his phone one time and had to re-identify himself because it was all online banking and stuff. And they just called him, asked him to like hold up a certain number of fingers and prove that he's him, then show his passport, and they did a screen grab of his passport, identified him that way and reauthorised everything. My bank want me to walk into my branch back in Morecambe in Lancashire. The fuck, how am I going to do that? So yeah, it's difficult. Anyway, guys, the sun's going down. I'm getting cold. The wind's picking up. I am getting actual cold here. I might have to dig a jumper out. Like I said, I've got them in a drawer somewhere. I haven't tried them on yet, and I'm still in shorts. I haven't worn long pants yet this year. Well, not since May or June. May. But I think that's about it, guys. I might do a midweek one this week. I'm not sure that I'll be able to do this time next week. Here's another thing. Because these guys have offered to take me out for Christmas dinner, and it's European style. So it'll be the 24th. So I might not be around on the Sunday. So all the best to everybody. Slothbite. Interesting name. What's the NWO? New World Order? Pro or against? There's another one. We could go politics. All the best, everybody. Moonhawk. Catch you later. Cheers, everybody. Let me do this. Let's do this one. From Tina. And from me. Delta Mike. Out. Against.